Ever since I was a kid, I love to stay up late. It's not really normal, but I've always thought light looks best in the night. So, if you enjoy riding at night as much as I do, you'll know it's always ideal to have as much light as possible. So in this video, I'm going to be showing you how to install these auxiliary LED light pods on a TW200. Also, just remember you modify and work on your bike at your own risk. So before you get auxiliary lighting, I would highly recommend upgrading your main headlight to LED first. Doing this not only gives you more light compared to stock, but it also frees up a ton of wattage for extra lights, because you really don't want to overtax and burn up the stator on this little bike. Would be cool though if the electrical system didn't have any limits, and if that were the case, I would have so many lights on this thing. Anyways, at the making of this video, I had a Cyclops 3800 H4 bulb, but we'll soon be installing a JNS LED headlamp, which I will show more about in another video. The lights I got are rated at 12 watts each and have a spot pattern. And in case you don't know, a spot pattern is where most of the light is distributed in the center like this, and a flood pattern is more diffused all over the place like this. So I got these lights on Amazon pretty cheap, and there's different brands on there that seem to be selling the exact same thing. In the box you will find a bag with all the hardware and the light, which is made of a sturdy metal water resistant housing. Unfortunately, these ones do not come with any extra wiring or connectors, but those are pretty cheap as well. I'll go ahead and empty out the hardware bag, insert the bracket, and line up the holes like this. I'm going to have the base of the bracket angled towards the wire, but you may want to have it angle the other way, just depends on how you want to install it. Next, I'll rotate the bracket out of the way slightly, grab a small bolt and apply some blue Loctite. Then place one of the small nuts on the inside and thread the bolt in with the included Allen wrench. Honestly, this part is kind of a pain, but the nut should be kept from spinning since it's wedged between the cooling fins. I'll go ahead and snug it down a little bit so the bracket can still swivel. Then I'll do the same to the other side. And repeat this with the other light. Now we're ready to install them on the bike. It just so happens that my HBD handguards came with holes pre-drilled that will fit these lights almost perfectly. Now there are a lot of different ways you could mount them. Some people attach them on the brackets where the front reflectors go, and of course you could also just drill holes through your handguards. To get this started, I'll take the big bolt and slide the split washer and regular washer on. Then I'll line a light up with the hole and slide the bolt through. The reason I'm installing the bolt this way is to prevent any possibility of my hand catching on it in a crash. Next, I'll thread the nut on and snug it up with a 14mm, making sure the light is in the right position. It's pretty cool there is raised ridges on the bracket to keep the nut or bolt from spinning so it can be tightened down more easily. Then I'll do the exact same thing on the other side. Alright, now it's time for the fun wiring part. Start out by taking off the front plastic by removing this Phillips screw, then popping it down and off like this. Next, I'll remove the headlight by unbolting the sides with a 10mm, and it unhooks from the bottom. And I'll just let it rest on the fender for now. There are quite a few different ways to wire this up, but I will be running them off this high beam circuit on the plug. The reason I'm doing this is for simplicity, to just have the lights come on with the high beam, but you could also add a separate switch or do a relay setup if you wanted to. However, you do want to make sure you're not using too much wattage through this circuit. The LED headlight bulb is 40 watts on high and the stock halogen is 60 watts. So adding the 2 extra 12 watt lights will be making 64 watts total. 4 extra watts really isn't that much to worry about in my opinion, but if you plan on going much over this, I would highly recommend using a relay. Because when you overload a circuit by a lot, what happens is you start heating up the wires and contacts, and over time this can cause problems. When you use a relay, the power is coming directly from the battery, and this is not an issue as long as you're using the proper wire gauge. But remember, you are still limited by the stator output. Anyways, moving on, I have some brand new waterproof plugs right here that would be perfect for this sort of thing. I already have a connector spliced into the headlight plug that I used for my single 18 watt flood that I used to have installed on my bike. So I'm just gonna stay with that for now. You could just skip the plug altogether and splice in wires, but it's nice to be able to disconnect it if you ever need to take things apart. To splice it in, start by opening the back cover. It just unclips and hinges open. On my bike, the green wire is the low beam, yellow is the high beam, and black is the ground. I removed the black and yellow wire pins by inserting a very small screwdriver in these little slots on the bottom of the plug. Also, when you do this, make sure the bike is off so you don't end up shorting anything out. I essentially stripped the wires for the plug and crimped them next to the original wires with a pair of needle nose pliers. I also added some soldering for good measure. In this case, red goes to yellow and black goes to black. I then covered the positive wire with some electrical tape and zip tied each pair of wires together. Then I installed them back into the plug. If the pins don't clip in, pull them back out and make sure this prong is bent outwards like this, which locks them into place. Instead of doing all of this, you could cut and crimp the wires, but I like to avoid hacking up the factory wiring harness if I can help it. Next, I'll close the lid, plug it back in, and zip tie it to the headlight frame. Then I'll go ahead and reinstall the headlight, making sure the bottom hooks in first before bolting it down. The other end of the plug is still attached to the old light, so I'll just hack it off, cut back the cover, and strip both of the wires. Next, I'll plug it in and figure out where all the wires will meet and cut off the extra on the lights. But remember, it's always better to leave a little extra wiring than not have enough. Next, I'll cut back the covering and strip the wires on each light. To splice these together, I will be using these neat little connectors that have solder, heat shrink, and sealant all in one. I'll slide one over the black wire for the plug and twist all the black wires together. Then slide the connector over the wires, making sure it's centered, and I'll hit it with the heat gun until the solder melts and the shrink wrap shrinks. Then I'll do the exact same thing with the red wires. I'll give them a little bit of a tug as a test and then wrap it all up in electrical tape. Then I'll zip tie the auxiliary light plug and reinstall the front plastic. Alright, now it's all done, so let's head out to the forest and test it out.
And here we are in the spooky forest. All right, so this is just the low beam, and here's the high beam. Wow, check that out. That is quite bright. So honestly, I feel like I already had plenty of light straight ahead, but the cool thing about having these on each side is I can angle them outwards. Check that out. And you can twist them and it moves them up and down. So once you get them in the exact spot you want, go ahead and tighten all the bolts down nice and snug. And so now we'll do a little bit of a test. This is just the regular low beam, and this is just the regular high beam, no auxiliary lights. So there's the low beam again, and high beam with the auxiliary lights. And they do seem to be up kind of high, but that's kind of good because when you lean the bike over and are going through a turn, check that out. You have like perfect lighting to see where you're going. Now it's time to do a little test ride through the forest. Man, that's bright. I love it. Here's the low beam. It is scary as the dickens. High beam. It's like daytime out here. It's nice. Like it actually feels so much more safe. So just for a reference, I'm gonna go ahead and disconnect the light. The low beam, regular high beam. I mean, it's not terrible, but and I'll just plug that sucker back in. Boom. I love the summer nights. They are so fun. So I love riding at night when it's like way too hot during the day. So it's like usually the perfect temperature at night, like it is right now. So one thing I will mention when it's idling with everything on, the voltage will drop a little bit. And honestly, the stock bulb should do the same thing. I'm not 100% sure because I didn't have a voltage gauge back in the day when I did have the halogen bulb. But the stock one is 55 watts on low and 60 on high. And this setup right here should be pulling about 64 watts on high. And it shouldn't be a big deal because I have a LED taillight, so that should be pulling the total wattage of the bike down quite a bit. But let me know if you guys want me to put the stock bulb back in here and test it out, see if it does the same thing. I have a feeling it will. I think that's just the way the bike is. It just can't produce enough wattage at the low RPMs. Well guys, it's like freaking 3 in the morning and I'm just heading home. And I'll also be sure to leave links to everything down below if you want to go check it out. And if you buy from one of those links, you will be helping support the channel. But anyways, I hope you guys found this video useful. And if you want to see more videos like this one, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. And I will catch you guys next time. Peace.